Say again where you work at, or what you
Sure.
do in ministry again.
So again, my name is Zac, and I work with Cornerstone Campus Ministry. And so I work in helping event planning and a lot of the helping run a lot of the ministry operations for our church that specifically reaches out to college students at USF and the University of Tampa. And so how this all sort of came about is, you all right, man? Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That's all right.
Where is Cornerstone?
What's that?
Where is Cornerstone?
It's over in Tampa. So yeah, we actually don't even have a church building. We rent out an auditorium from the University of South Florida, and that's where we have church every Sunday. So we're right on the center of the campus. And during the semester, we'll have 250 to 300 people that'll come every Sunday. And so it started with only about 20 people, and it's really grown a lot. And so, you need water? Okay. And so for me, man, I grew up in this area and sort of had I don't know if it's a typical upbringing, but basically I went to church till I was about 7 years old, and for whatever reason we just stopped going. I was pretty involved in playing soccer. In fact, where I first played was right behind the movie theater here at those fields. And so, you know, playing competitive soccer, just sort of on the weekends, you just are pretty busy for a lot of the time. So for my family, they sort of put that in front of God in a lot of ways for me, you know. And so fast forward to about high school, I was really starting to wonder, okay, well, there's got to be something more to life, you know, because I was on track to like graduate and go to college and all of that, and I was like, okay, so I'll get married, I'll have a family, I'll have a house, but what's more to, there's got to be something else that's more, you know. And I had heard about Jesus growing up, and so I believed that he was God, but didn't really know him and didn't have a relationship with him, and sort of believed it from an intellectual standpoint and not in the heart. And so before I came to college, I made some moral kind of commitment to myself. I said, okay, I'm not going to get involved in partying, smoking weed, and getting drunk, and hooking up with girls. I'm not going to do that stuff, you know. Well, when I came to USF, that quickly went out the window, you know. It was because, you know, I didn't have Christ in me, so there's no power. There's no power to do that. It's just a nice thought, you know. And so my second semester, my freshman year, I ran into this guy. His name was Christian, ironically, and so what we do is he was doing this survey that asked people what they believe. All right.
Whoa.
And so for me, again, sort of caught me out of the blue, you know. But the survey we do, we survey hundreds of students every semester, and actually thousands. And so the survey asks 4 simple questions. It says, do you believe you're going to go to heaven when you die? Why do you believe this? Third question is, does it surprise you that the Bible says that none of these answers can get you into heaven? Because the second question sort of lays out keeping the 10 Commandments, going to church, believing that God exists, being a good person. Like, none of that stuff gets you into heaven, right? Yeah. And so the fourth question is asked, would you like to know what the Bible says? And through that, they put their contact information and they indicate if they're interested in going to church or doing a Bible study. And so it's a systematic way to reach a generation for Christ. And it's a quick way to do it where, especially in a group setting when there's tons of people walking around, to just get their information and call them later. So I filled it out and I was like, yeah, I probably should actually know what this says, since I say I believe in Jesus, you know. And so surprisingly, I fill it out, you know. In my mind, I'm like, okay, he's probably not going to call me. And then sure enough, I get a call a couple days later, like, hey man, you did that survey, and I want to see if you wanted to meet up. And so I'm so glad he called, because every week he would come to my dorm room and we would meet right in my room, or we would meet right in the kitchen area on campus. And so these kind of one-on-one Bible studies that we do in our ministry, we were averaging over 110 Bible studies meeting every week on the campuses. And so God really used that to bring a lot of people to the Lord and be a real witness to the campus. And so for me, that was the first time someone actually challenged me to read the Bible for myself and would hold me accountable every week to actually go through the Bible study on my own. And then when we met up, we would talk about it and talk it through. And so for me, I really saw that, and I started to see how much different my life was from what the Bible said was what a Christian life should look like.